So I'm Tom. Obviously here today to introduce ourselves and a little bit of a background and an informal chat about online coaching and some other bits. I've been personally online coaching for 2 years, but I first really got into fitness back in my college days. Obsessed with training. I'd be the first one to college. I actually ended up with the key to the gym. Teachers get pretty pissed off because I was like, have the music blasting when they're walking in at like 7 in the morning. Kind of went out of it, did a bit of footy coaching, did a footy coaching degree, then into project coordinating, working with disabled kids in sport. Went off travelling to New Zealand. Was meant to be for a year. My family still take the piss out of me for that because I went for 2 months. I was going with a mate though, and he let me down, so I did enjoy the 2 months. Came back, ended up going into labouring, but when the pandemic hit, I missed coaching, I missed working with people, and I thought, how can I make use of this situation to help people through a very difficult situation, which is where I seen people taking off with the online coaching. So that's when I got into that. And that's where I actually met Lee through Limitless because I signed up with them. We met at an event, didn't we? And that's where we've all actually tied in. So I'll let Lee introduce himself.
Okay, so I'm Lee. I am an online transformation coach. I have been similar to you, really, Tom. I've been coaching online coaching specifically since the pandemic. I've been a PT for 9 years. So I was one-to-one PTing, the pandemic hit, and then that kind of transitioned me into online coaching. It kind of forced me online, and then since then it's just kind of gone mad. Into bodybuilding, so I've got a show coming up, which will be my third show, coming up in October the 1st. So I'm like 13 weeks out now, and yeah. So like we said, I met Tom in London, and then I met Jack in Marbella at another event. So it's all through like networking and things like that. I'm very much into getting to be around people like you guys and who are on the kind of similar journey to me. So yeah, that's kind of my little story and intro. So I'll let Jack take over.
That's it. So my name's Jack. I sell fruit machines, as well as doing online coaching. So myself, I've only been online coaching full time for the last 3 months. I've done it before in the past, but primarily I've come from a one-to-one PT background. So similar with Tom, lockdown sort of forced us into having to come up with different things. So lockdown happened in the summer of 2020. I thought, right, I'll just go to a park, train some mates, train some of my mum's mates, train some of my dad's mates. And after about 6 months, I bought a van and did one-to-one mobile personal training all over Warwickshire. So that was my first sort of taste of both coaching and sort of business. And then literally I'd moved to Nottingham, so not too far from Lee, in 2022 to a well-known gym there. Lasted 6 months for various reasons, but mainly it was just because I felt that the one-to-one stuff was a lot of time and effort for what I was getting out of it. So I wanted to be able to help more people. Therefore, the online was more scalable, so I could help more people going forward. And here we are.
So I think that's the biggest thing, obviously, with the online coaching that I've found anyway, and that's why I absolutely love doing it. You can help people in a much better way. We've all delivered one-to-ones in the past, haven't we? Whereas with the online coaching, you're literally working with that person all week, every week, whenever they need you, and definitely having... Do you use your own app as well, Jack?
So I've been using True Coach and Google Sheets. I've just moved on to a new platform called OneFit. On like a 3-month trial. It's a brand new one, but it's basically a combination of a Google Sheet, a True Coach on one. I know you use, is it Kahunas? Do you use?
No. I use Trainer Eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but yeah, I've always used that. I find it.
I used to use pen and pencil for the one-to-one stuff. Every person had their right. Becky, this is what we're doing today. Had notes on my phone. Then I used to write it down and used to have it in a folder for every individual. But using an app's a lot easier.
Yeah, it keeps it all in one place, doesn't it? Like a lot of my clients say, it's just there. Obviously, the great thing about the apps is, I'm sure you've done it yourselves, the videos, like video demos, weekly check-ins. You know, you get a lot more value for your money, I believe anyway, working with someone online. I mean, one-to-one's obviously beneficial. You said you do now and then yourself, don't you? You work.
Yeah, I train with a few, but I think like when I used to PT in the gym, a lot of the PTs there, they would just do the session and that's it. Like people are turning up for an hour, but then the diet's shocking.
There's nothing
and
afterwards.
nothing's gonna happen if your diet's not on point. So I'm very big on like diet plan, like the nutrition side. I'm very big on, and then obviously the training plan. Once you kind of know what you're doing in the gym anyway, you think if you get a proper plan telling you what to do,
Yeah,
like obviously
definitely.
the videos can show you how to do it, correct form, and like you can get your clients to send you form analysis anyway. So I think one-to-one PT is good for the social side if people like that, but I think online is just the way forward now, definitely. So yeah.
So when it comes to programming for clients, I'm sure we all do it different ways. I've never actually even asked you when we went the last event.
No.
Someone comes on board with you.
Yeah.
How do you actually do it? I think it'd be good if we all talk through how
Yeah.
we take someone on board.
So ask me this a year ago, it would have been a case of generic programming. I would have probably picked exercises that it was an upper body session, a couple of push, couple of pull, and an arms. But then since when I worked in this gym for 6 months, a huge thing I learned from there was everyone is different in terms of their mechanics, their anatomy, what they enjoy. So what I tend to do now with people that are on board is I will get them to film most of their exercises in the first week, so I can see how they perform press, how they perform squat. You know, is there any imbalances? You know, we're all different. People are working at a desk. Some people are more stressed than others. So not one exercise fits all.
Yeah.
You know, like different limb lengths, for example. Someone's got stupidly long arms doing a bench press. They're going to have to travel a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
On a deadlift though, phenomenal. They just got to bend down
Yeah.
slightly and they've got the bar. So what I tend to do now is I'll get them to record the main exercises from the compound movements. But before that, I'll just get them take photos from the front, the side, and the back, just so I can see their posture, sort of different shoulder extension, flexion, everything like that, and that'll allow me to have a bit more of an understanding of how they're going to perform, sort of in the gym.
Definitely agree with that one. The specific programming in the gym makes a massive difference. Yeah. And I found it even more because I'd worked with so many people online when I went to do some one-to-ones. Like, sometimes I think you presume they're following the plan, you know, that you set in your gym. But I found when I did some one-to-ones back in Christmas with people that I've never seen in person, even then they do differentiate some of the things, like they'll change the order, even though like when you fully explain like the set order like works for them, but sometimes you forget. I think when you work with a lot of people, like people will just go off and do their own thing no matter how much you tell them. And sometimes re-explaining and re-giving that value. It's why I've done quite a lot of video tutorials recently, like going over the emphasis of following the program, why it's beneficial and everything else. And again, that's another benefit to the app. Like you can give so much more information, I believe, like to each individual.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar, to be fair. Like when someone's onboarded, like obviously you have your call with them to start off with. You'll go through obviously what they're struggling with and their specific goal, and then you kind of program it. Like I program everything around the individual. So like I get a lot of women that want to tone up and get a big bum. So the programming is obviously like glutes, like a lot of glutes, but obviously you want to hit the upper body as well, because you can't just spot reduce body fat, can you? So you want to obviously hit everywhere, so you're losing that, you're burning more calories at the end of the day. So but yeah, I go through it all, and then I'll program it around their lifestyle, and then on the app I use. So yeah, like the order comes into play, but like busy gyms, mate, like you can't always do it. But I can see, so when my client logs their workout, I can see like how much weight they've lifted, how many reps and stuff. So I can see like the order and stuff, and then like if they haven't progressed on something, it's probably because they did it like the fourth exercise in instead of the first. So yeah, I can literally see everything, and then they know I can see if they've done it or not. So it's a good way to
the accountability of it.
They know they've got to do it, or so I'm going to be like, right, why haven't you done that? Why haven't you done this? So yeah, but yeah, you just have to personalize it to them. Like I think with just one-to-one PT, they're just going for a session at the end of the day, aren't they? And
you can only get so much out of an hour, can't you?
So, and obviously if you're doing it, like I used to do it when I used to PT, I used to do mornings before people used to go to work, and then in the evening, and it was like getting rammed, and you got an hour, and like the whole gym's like crazy busy, like it's hard. So yeah, but yeah, online is just so much better.
Definitely, just like the benefits behind it all. But a big one that I always get, like with new people, how long will it take? You know, it's always a question, isn't it? Like at the start, I would take people on and they'd like leave after a month. But I know we spoke the other day.
Yeah.
Like very minimum, I give them like you've got to sign up for 3 months because it's like the amount of time it does actually take. I don't think some people understand when you're going really specific with someone. They give you all the information. You look at the gym that they're training in, the nutrition, what they enjoy eating, everything else, and they think all that's going to change in a month. Yeah, you'll see results, but that's why I like mine's minimum 3 months. I think yours 6 months.
6 months now, yeah.
And
yeah.
you set
Three,
similar?
yeah, 3 months. I used to do a monthly rolling contract because I think before it was a case of I didn't want them to have to, say they sign up for 3 months. I was scared they were going to say no, but learn the hard way. But I've realised that now going forward with more experience that 3 months minimum has got to be the case because it shows commitment from them. So it shows they're willing to invest and they're committed.
Yeah.
And also they can see that I'm planning. I think mapping the journey for clients is so important. Right, this is where you're going to be in 3 months. Once we've done this phase, right, we're going to move into this phase and this is going to do this, this and this. And I think mapping that plan gives them realistic goals to work towards and therefore stick to what it is you've set.
I think the people who invest obviously long term as well, like the longer you can obviously have a client, the better they will do. Like I've had clients for years and years and years, like from when I used to PT, they're still with me now. And like you said, people come in and ask how long is it going to take, and like if they've been eating junk food and crap and for years and years and like, oh, I want to transform my body in 12 weeks, like let's be realistic. So I think
12 weeks is
it's a good enough time
if you've got someone that
results,
you can see results after probably 3 or 4 weeks. How many how many people have you had that have you've looked at their nutrition, changed a few things, and they've lost like 2 kilos in like 10 days. They're like, oh my god, this is amazing. What they don't realise is then after a week, a lot of people go, oh, why 2 kilos not come off again? And then it's of course educating them and whatnot. But I think 12 weeks to see a serious change in an individual, both physically and mentally. And making it sustainable.
I think definitely physically more than anything in the 12 weeks. I think, especially when you said the 6 months, I find clients that go over the 3 months will go 6, 9, 12 months.
Yeah.
That's when you see the mental change. Like if people give themselves the opportunity, because in 12 weeks you can go hard, you can be dead strict. And I find a lot of people that give 3 months and they go, okay, I'm happy. I've made my physical transformation. 1-2 months later, they're like, oh, I put weight back on. Because they've like slipped into old habits quite quickly.
But then is that a transformation though?
Oh, they made the transformation, but I don't.
See, I like to think that if I'm someone for 12 weeks, I want them then to have if they say 12, Jack, you've helped me after 12 weeks, I'm in a fantastic position to continue. And I've given them the tools that they can now go and do it themselves. Then to me, that's a win.
It's definitely a win, but what I'm saying is like, for people looking to work with an online coach, you can get that physical transformation, but sometimes the mental side, your old habits, they will creep back in quickly. Whereas if you work with someone and you're going to commit to 3 months, if you then give it another 3 months, like 6 months, a lot of people that I work with for 6 months that then leave me, I find that they stick to it. Because they've solidified what we've gone over. We go over the same things. We kind of repeat the process, and he just like embeds it and engraves it into like regular habits. I have a lad who I worked with like at the start of when I was programming, and he sent me a message the other day with what it's currently looking like, because we worked for 6 months. We did a proper cut, proper bulk, taught him everything. He asked a lot of questions, which
that's
I
good
don't
though.
mind,
That's good. Yeah.
And then he's carried it on, and I think that when you said 6 months, I was like, well, maybe that is like a very good time.
I like to, if I'm working with people for 6 months, like you said, you want them to obviously leave and be happy. So I if someone's like on a weight loss journey, you'll hammer it down. I'll do like probably 16 weeks of solely just cutting down, and then 2 months slowly reversing the calories back up to like a maintenance phase. So then there's that enjoyment there as well, but they're still able to keep
the weight
what
off.
they've got. Long term. It's a lifestyle change at the end of the day, isn't it? So
100%.
you've got to be able to keep it off long term. And I think by bringing them down and then just leaving them on low calories, and they leave on low calories, they're gonna think, oh fuck it, I'll have a pizza, or I'll have this, and then that's when it starts piling back on. So in my experience, bringing it down and then tapering them back up to like maintain that at a nice range where they're not going to be hungry, and they can just continue on from there. So that's what I typically do anyway. So yeah, but I'm all for like getting them in amazing shape in 12 weeks, but a lot of them then don't know where to go from that. And they're scared of bringing their calories back up because they think, oh, I've lost all this weight, but if I start bringing my calories back up, I'm going to pile it all back on. So you've got to just control it back up and
map different phases, isn't it? It's just that journey. Like, you've been in a diet for 12 weeks. Now we've done 12 weeks. We're going to bump food up. Weight might come up a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. We'll look to focus on performance in the gym. Let's look to improve on this, that, and the other. It's not a case of 6 months of just pure dieting, because a lot of people will just get run into the ground. They're on super low calories. They've got no energy. You're better off, like you say, just reversing them back up slightly. Keep getting them healthy, getting them, strong in the gym. And then obviously if it's a bulk they want to go into or they want to maintain, they've got the tools and you can guide them and keep them accountable, which is huge. It's the biggest thing, I think, with the online side of things and PT. A lot of people, it's accountability.
Someone that you've got to check in with. You've got to send a photo to someone. It's why I still use a coach myself. Coming up to my first comp this year, I know you use one. You use one for your photo shoot.
100%. I think
you all need it, don't we?
Especially when we're spending all of our time coaching people, it's very easy for us to forget our own training.
Like, I'll grab a snack.
We've been there. If you've got 5 or 6 check-ins to do and you've got content to plan and whatnot, you've missed 3 hours, you've missed your food, I'll just grab a protein bar or something. Whereas if you've then got someone to make, check in on you, it's like, I need to make sure I'm doing it as well. And I think I've definitely noticed having a coach has kept me accountable. I've learned things from the individual that I can then implement. I've had good coaches. I've had not so good coaches, coaches which charge a lot of money and I get a WhatsApp message once a week. I now know, being in the client's perspective, that's not something I'd be happy with. Whereas,
when you're paying all that money, definitely.
For someone like who I've just had to help me now for my photo shoot, we had weekly check-in calls. We had, he was on WhatsApp every single day if I needed to. I'd go over and meet him in person. We'd do sessions, do body fat calipers. Yeah, okay, I did a photo shoot, but I know he's like that with all of his other clients. And I think that's a fantastic thing. So what I've learned from him, I can then implement and make sure that I can do that for my own. So
definitely a great point there. There are a lot of dodgy online coaches. They'll rip you off. I've had people message me, "Oh, should I be an online coach?" It's like, well, what qualification you got? None really. I've been in the gym for 6 months.
Or they got IFBB Pro in there.
I was like,
I've done a show and now I
just want to rip people off. I just want to make money. It's like, that's not the point of it. Obviously, we charge for our services because we're qualified. We know what we're talking about. We show evidence with that. But there is a lot of people online that can put people off having a coach. I definitely work with people that have been like,
the amount of stories I've heard from people when I've been on calls and they're like, I worked with this guy and he did this, and I was like, you don't actually realise how.
One of the ones that I had, there was like, he just told me to take a load of steroids and just be his main transformation, and it's like, didn't tell him any diet advice or anything.
Fucking hell, yeah, bad. But yeah, the stories you hear.
It's the problem with online. There's a lot of people scamming, isn't there? And it does lose people's trust. But if you look at someone's page, like I've seen yours, I had a good look through yours. I've watched yours many times. You can tell if someone's doing online coaching properly.
And for the right reasons. I think a lot of people get into it and they think, I can charge X amount a month and work from a laptop, which
from a laptop, drive a Ferrari.
Which sounds
the big
great.
lifestyle.
But don't get me wrong, if you put the work, if that's what you want to do, you've got to put the work in, put the hours in. But I think you've still got to be a coach first, and then think about everything else after. I think a lot of the thing is be good at your craft, be good at coaching, and the rest will come. If you can get transformations, if you can get referrals, if you can provide a top quality service, that will speak volumes. And I think a lot of people will focus a lot on other things, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, etc., which again have a place, but to begin with, just educate yourself, be a good coach, be a good person, and just be in your client's shoes. If you were paying for someone's service, what would you want to receive? Would you just want one WhatsApp message a week? No. Would you want a Loom onboarding video? Would you want a sit down chat? Would you want a monthly call? Would you like a video analysis? Yeah, sign me up. And I think that's the main thing for anyone is be a good coach first. Everything else will follow.
I think you've got to kind of walk the walk as well. I'm very, very big on that. There's people out there who are coaches and have never been in shape. I think you've got to be. It's like getting swimming lessons from someone who can't fucking swim. Yeah, I think you've had to. I'm very big on you to walk the walk or be walking the walk or whatever.
Definitely,
So as well.
definitely. That's me with the shoot was the main reason for it. You know, if I'm telling people to do extra cardio or drop calories in food, and I want to have been there, done it,
Exactly.
and push
Yeah,
myself. So
100%.
I know that, right, I know exactly how you're feeling because I've felt like that.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. Let's then reevaluate, etc. But
Yeah.
done shoots, doing a competition and whatnot. It's a case
You
of
can't expect your clients to do something you ain't done. Like get up stupid o'clock for your cardio and go into the gym and
Morning steps and everything
literally,
else.
yeah.
If you're not doing
Strict
it,
on your diet.
yeah.
Like, that's a question that I did get asked because when I moved to Manchester the other month, I kind of took a month to chill out. I enjoyed a few drinks and stuff, and some guy was questioning me when we was out. He's like, how do you just switch from that and like be fully on it? It's like, well, you can have fun and you can enjoy yourself, but when you're going for a goal, just like I tell my clients, that's it then. We're locked in on that. We'll go for that. There's no reason why you can't have both. But depending on your goal and where you want to get to is how much you want to put into it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like the way you're training for a contest prep, and this is my first ever one. It's very extreme. So sometimes people dig into, oh, I can't go and have a cheat meal at the weekend, which it shouldn't be called that anyway. But like an off-plan meal, eat extra at the weekend. But it's all dependent on the goal. And I think too much on Instagram sometimes, especially I have my clients like beating themselves up for having an ice cream. I'm sure you've had it from yours.
Yeah.
And sometimes don't compare yourself. Like, obviously, you had your photo shoot, you was bang on point, you look mint. You know what I mean? But sometimes clients look at that and they're like, oh, well, I'm letting myself down.
Yeah, it ties. I had a question. Someone asked me saying about how, especially for me, do you manage social life and prepping towards a photo shoot or
To
a
be
contest?
fair,
Or
when we was in Marbella, you was like, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks before your photo shoot?
3 weeks before, yeah.
Yeah,
3
and I
weeks
was
before.
having like fucking
burgers,
burgers,
pork,
pork on
all sorts,
oh, mate.
sandwiches.
Don't-
Oh, the ham sandwich. They love every time they came in. They'd go straight to Lee because they knew whatever
Yeah,
it
I
was
was
they
just
had.
inhaling
he'd have
it, mate.
He'd
I
have
was
it.
going
Making
in.
those.
Because I
He'd
know.
even go, "Just bring some more of those out.
Yeah, literally. So when I
Yeah. There's me with my bottle of water and like a can of Monster, just trying to like see the day through. I was getting up before, but to me now, it's just part of my. It's a lifestyle thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think, and for a lot of people I've worked with, once they've fell in love with the whole process and everything else, it just becomes the norm. Like people go to me, Jack, why are you getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to take the dog on a walk? It's because I like enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, and that whatever you do, if you enjoy it, it won't see it. Don't get me wrong, there's challenges and whatnot, but if you enjoy something and enjoy what you do,
I think it's very like I can be very relaxed. Like when I'm bulking or off season or whatever you want to call it, I can. Obviously, it's about getting the food in and you enjoy it a bit more. But as soon as prep comes, I'm like, bam, game time.
Switch on.
And like even just like these first, what would it be like 4 weeks in, like my mindset is so. And now I've got a daughter as well, and there's like chocolates and biscuits everywhere. Like we had a barbecue at the weekend, and I cooked the barbecue, but I didn't. I had my chicken and rice, and everyone was having and it don't phase me because I'm so focused on that end goal. So I'm not. It doesn't bother me. Whereas I think a lot of people do, like especially with kids. Like I know you haven't got kids, but people
Not
with
that I
kids,
know of.
they
I know.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hope my mum ain't gonna watch this.
But yeah, obviously people struggle around like with the kids and food around and stuff like that. But I think having something to work to, you just focus on it. But yeah, it's just about flipping. I call it flipping the switch and just going all in.
All in. Focus on what you want to do. Like that's what a lot of obviously when your clients come to you, it's like pure focus on the goal, isn't it? But I always say it's your goal. Like if you don't want to be in a contest prep, you're allowed something at the weekend and don't beat yourself up. Always relate to your own goal instead of going like, oh my god, look, he's perfect. He's not been off plan. He's not had any cheat meals because I'm sure you wouldn't unless you got told to by your coach now. Like you just don't do. Like you know what you're doing.
You've
You
got one
follow it.
tonight, haven't you?
I've got one tonight, mate. First one in like
Fuck
4
off,
weeks.
I've not been given one yet.
Yeah,
Burger or pizza?
I don't know, mate. See what's what. Depends what time we finish it.
See, I'd get-
Pizza's my go-to, but I don't know why I've been craving a burger for some reason.
There's your answer.
I know.
There's your
Definitely
answer.
burger.
Yeah.
Big
Big
fat
juicy one.
burger.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait for my first one. If I have one.
That's
So
the
yeah,
thing.
I'm not craving it really.
See, I'm with because I'm doing a photo shoot with some of my clients, and I'm like a lot of my clients are lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, you can have at the weekend go and enjoy a meal or whatever with your family. But like even with my photo shoot prep clients now, so we've got one in October, and I'm like, right, I'm like stricter basically. I'm just like, right, quit out, get you in a good spot before we start having like refeeds and things like that. So where you can have an off-plan meal or something like that. So, but I'm very much it's all dependent on the goal, innit? Like,
yeah, every time it's like the goal specific.
Yeah. So if obviously the photo shoot, you want to look as good as possible for that photo shoot. So we can cut pizzas and shit out at the weekend for like 12, 16 weeks if needed, but it's not like they're gone forever, is it? So,
no.
But yeah.
Not.
That's when it just comes to how I always say how important's the goal for you. You know, if you got a wedding in the summer and you're telling me you're wanting to eat this and that and you're struggling, just revert it always back to the goal. Like, go ahead and enjoy yourself this weekend, but when it comes to that wedding in the summer, you might be not where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
But I think, like I say, for general lifestyle people, I don't tend to take that away from the weekend, especially those that might have like young families, like you've said, or you know, I've got loads of mates that I've helped, they've got in great shape, still gone out the weekend, but it's just like minor tweaks. So instead of having 5 pints, can you have like a vodka and a diet mixer, for example? Because
if you've got good control.
yeah, you know, and some do, some don't. But I always find whenever you go out, it's always the day after. You don't move, and you just want to eat loads of rubbish, and that's when it then becomes a bit of an issue. But I think you can definitely 100% still go out, be sensible, and enjoy a few drinks, have a meal out. But then, you know, as long as you're straight back on it the next day with everything else, cardio's being hit, your training's being hit, that's fine. Me personally, I'd rather just not go out. That's how I am.
Yeah,
but I'm a lot different to other people. I'd just rather not. Like going to Marbella, the thought of going to the after party bit just didn't interest me. I'd rather go and do my own thing.
Mate,
just because I just don't see the point.
I'm not a big drinker anyway.
Yeah,
I don't drink anymore. Them days are long.
I'm one or the other. It's all in, all out.
That's me. I've not.
Ask any of my mates. I have zero control.
Yeah.
If I'm going like 2 beers in, bang, I'm out till.
If I'm drinking, it's only to get drunk.
Yeah.
I've only been out once this year, and it's for my birthday. I went to Nottingham to watch the boxing, and it ruined me for a good 4 or 5 days. Like, honestly,
wrote off a full week.
honestly, but what happens is my training's not as good, my sleep's not as good. I'm grouchy, I'm not as productive, and all of that affects me loads. I'm thinking, well, what was the point? It was a great night, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But is all that all of it worth it for me? No. But yeah, if I'm going to drink, it's to get pissed.
Yeah. When back in the day, I don't know why I used to have to drink a lot to get drunk, and then it would just like hit me. So yeah. So I was a bit similar to you. To be fair, I'd like either go all in or no point.
There's
because
stories that I won't even touch on. Not on him. Maybe on
We'll do a separate podcast.
One question that I do have for both of you. So you mentioned cardio on yours. How do you program your cardio for your clients? Like, how would you do it? Do you do it? Seen some coaches like have them doing an incline walk and stuff. I'm not a big fan of it. Like, cardio itself is brutal in my eyes. So I'd prefer them to do less time and put more intensity into it. But I know different people have different methods.
Yeah. Again, ask me a year or two ago, just do steps. That's what I would normally tell people to do. But now, I think from personal experience, because as I've got more cardiovascular, fitter, it's just improved everything else. My training, my recovery. I feel fantastic. Like the mental side of feeling fit, I think is phenomenal.
Such a rush from
it
cardio,
is.
isn't
It
it?
is. I never used to do much cardio, whereas now I've got a massive priority on cardio. I'm a lot more focusing on like health, etc. So I think the most important muscle in your body is probably your heart. So I'd like to try and train it. You know, it might be some people might say it's your bicep, but I think you'll find it's your heart. But in terms of for clients, it's just seeing where they're currently at. If there's someone that's currently doing no cardio whatsoever, I'm not going to say, right, 2 hours a week, get on that Stairmaster. You know, it's just not going to happen. I like to just try and just see where they're at first. And literally, it might just be a case of, okay, I just want you to go on a walk, half an hour, 4 times a week. Nothing too serious, because that's more than what they're doing at the moment. Yeah. Weight training, I put a lot more emphasis on, because I want people to get stronger. I think the benefits weight training has over cardio should be number one. You know, getting stronger, helping with everything else. I think that's fantastic. And people enjoy weight training more than walking on an incline treadmill. You know, for a sustainability point of view, they're far better off doing that. However, I think towards the end, if people, depending again on the individual, but if they're working towards a holiday or say they're having a plateau, I don't want to bring their food too low because it might affect a whole host of things. So cardio for me would then look to be implemented, but it's getting the most out of the minimal effective dose.
Yeah. So the intensity of the cardio would
it'd be less for most people, unless someone says to me specifically, Jack, I want to get as fit as possible. I'm doing a half marathon in 3-4 months. Then obviously it's going to be completely different to an individual who's looking to lose a bit of weight. But with the cardio, I think it's a case of not doing too much, making sure that they can recover from it. Because obviously if they're training at high intensity, like you said, they're doing a ton of cardio, that weight session is going to start to diminish. And, for me, that should be number one. So I understand what you're saying in terms of cardio can be sort of overused. I think it's a good tool to use for fat loss, but I also like the health benefits of it. So
I'm all my clients probably hate me because I just stair climber. It's the number one, I think, for cardio. Obviously I have a few clients that enjoy running, so they'll do like a run or like a 5k run or something, but stair climber is number one cardio for me, in my opinion. I do it, my clients will do it, even though they hate every minute of it.
No, it's horrible.
It's the fucking best.
So you're not a nice coach then, no?
No, probably not. I am to a degree, but it's not like we're starting super high and like half an hour straight away. Like we'll build it up, but like you said, it's used as a good tool. Like
100%.
I'm very much weight training, like get the most out your weights, and then we'll gradually taper cardio when we need to, instead of just pulling the food down. For example, if they're obviously on a weight loss journey, instead of pulling the food down every week, all right, let's increase the cardio this week, and then
It's always nicer having more food.
Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Yeah. So, keep the food up, and then just either more steps or more cardio. Just depend. Faster cardio. There's loads of different avenues you can go down to keep making progress without having to just constantly pull your food down every week. And I think that's what people think you have to do, is just eat the fucking bare minimum. And
you see people drop to like 900 or 1,000 calories a day, and it's like, what are you doing?
Sack whoever it is. Whoever honestly, if you're like, everyone's going to be different, but I remember before I went to Zante, lads holiday 2018, was dieting, didn't have a clue. I was doing football 3 times a week, weight training 5 times a week, and doing sprints on a treadmill 5 times a week for half an hour. And don't get me wrong, I think I ended up being 145 pounds. I was like, I thought I thought I was like Ryan Terry. I mean, I looked at myself in the mirror like, yeah, abs 18. I'm gonna shag birds on this holiday. Like, I was thinking, this is it. Like, I'm going balls. But literally a week before, I remember I looked at my macros like 2 years later, and I was eating 1,000 calories a day, 5 grams of fat, all protein, and about 20 grams of carbs. And the week before I went away, I actually had a kidney problem, and my body was starting to basically start eating away. And I was thinking, bloody hell, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I had a great time in Zante, but I felt awful. And I think that I'm always keep food high, keep expenditure higher if you can.
Yeah. What you've learned personally again, and that's like through years of training yourself. I'm sure we've all fucked up many a times, haven't we, in our own training, diet, when you're like trying to do things yourself. You definitely learn from many errors that you make. You're never perfect, is it?
No.
Always learning. I'm still learning now. Yeah. Better ways to train, better ways to eat.
But that's good. I think that's from a coach, like for yourself, not being married to one idea. I think it's great that you're still open-minded now, however many years into your journey. It's like for myself, I'm always looking at re-educating, looking at other people's opinions, like listening to other coaches, how they get people's results and what they think of, because you can get very married into your own way. Yeah, this is how to do it because this is how I do it. Very stubborn and whatnot. But if you keep that open mindset, I think you can pick up things from other people just to make yourself more of a better coach.
To be fair, when obviously you're on about when you went super low calories, I remember my first show, and my calories finished up on like 1,600 a day for me. And obviously that's fucking low.
Yeah, sure, you're all a big lad. Yeah,
but. But I think sometimes, like, obviously bodybuilding's an extreme sport. Like, half the year you're pushing food, you're
silly high.
You're not hungry, but you're pushing it in, and then the other half you're starving and your calories are right the way down. But I think sometimes you do, like, on that prep, like, I had to go that low to get the last bit of fucking body fat off. Like,
Well, that's not healthy, is it?
it's not healthy at all. But bodybuilding,
For the result of the bodybuilding.
Yeah,
But it's
but
not like a
soon-
healthy. As soon as you finish that, it's like
yeah, literally as soon as my show finished, I was straight on like 3,000 calories, like straight away. But and that's the thing. It's not just like we've gone straight to 1,600 calories. We've gone from like 5,000 and slowly brought it down, and then the last like 4 weeks where it's that last little bit, and then you're like in the dog end. I remember I was at Pure Gym. I was working at Pure Gym. I used to teach classes. I was PTing, going in the morning, in the evening, and I was like on 1,600 calories, mate. And I wasn't even functioning properly. Like,
what body fat did you get? Body fat percentage did you
must have
find
been
out?
about 5-6%. Like,
It's the lowest
very,
I've been 5 when I was
very
in
low.
college.
But I remember, I always
not
remember.
a nice feeling, is
no, the last week I was teaching a class in the studio, and obviously you know them little benches that you use in the studios, like the studio
yeah,
boxes. I sat on one of them, and literally my arse had no body fat on, and it was like just bone. I was that lean, and I was like, fuck me, I can't wait to get a meal in me, like a proper meal in me. Like, it's mad. But yeah, like trying to teach classes and train people when you're that, like, you're food deprived, really, aren't you? At the end of the day,
that is fully
you're not
deprived.
in a good spot. So yeah, that was not an enjoyable. I remember I've still got clients from when I used to PT then, from that time, and they're like, fuck me, you was like not even with it.
Well, you're led by example. You're showing like the extremes,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's a good showcase. Like all of us have clearly done.
Yeah.
We've all dieted well. We've all trained well. We've all prepped for something.
Hmm.
And you said it before, didn't you? Like you've got to go with someone that's done it, been there, done a lot, tried a lot.
Yeah, because with some clients, like, yeah, like with some clients, if you're doing a photo shoot or something like that, like you don't want to have to take them that low, but if you can only do so much cardio and so many steps depending on what their lifestyle is. So sometimes you do have to take food low, but you're not staying there. You're gonna, as soon as you've done what you're doing, you're coming straight back out.
Straight back out of it.
So yeah, sometimes you do have to go low, but it's
For a small period of
small
time,
amount of
it should
time.
never be sustained.
yeah, not all. So, but yeah, not fun times. So that's gonna come around soon. But hopefully not that low calories this time.
Nah, you won't be that low surely this time around.
I'm still on like 3K at the minute, so it's still
I've got
high.
3.5.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Go on.
What nutrient timing? How important do you think that is? Would you say?
The only ones that I put emphasis on massively is pre and post workout.
Yeah.
The rest of the meals doesn't make a massive difference. I quite enjoy fasting in the morning, really. I have like a
Same.
12-14 hour depending on my last meal of the day. I try and get that in quite early, so then my first meal of the day will be like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
Just because it gives me more food for the rest of the day.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. I had this question asked about what I think of intermittent fasting. Now, I don't know all the science behind it and this, that, and the other, but I enjoy it because I get a lot more work done in the morning. I feel a lot more productive, probably because the caffeine's hitting me. But I just find like carbohydrates, especially like, you know, you have an oats or something like that, very sluggish, very lethargic. But I also, like you just mentioned, especially if you're in the dieting phase, if you're someone that's not particularly that hungry in the morning, but maybe a little bit more peckish in the evening, it just makes sense to bank those calories and obviously
Yeah,
have them in
definitely.
the evening time. And for me, intermittent fasting, I think it's great just because it just brings that eating window down. And going on my question in terms of nutrient timing, I'm with you. I think pre and post, for all my clients, I will say, make sure that carbohydrates are prioritized. Prioritize pre
100%.
as your energy source and post to help with recovery. Obviously protein as well with that. Meals after and that and whatnot. Again, if they're like a lifestyle client, which most are, have that flexibility. If you want to, you know, a little bit more fat in your last meal, that's perfectly fine. But as long as you're hitting the calories, I think calories for me, number one, then protein.
Yeah.
Carbs and fats are important, but I think, again, for someone who's maybe never tracked or never followed anything, I give them a little bit more freedom.
Yeah,
with
build
those.
them up and
Yeah,
teach them, like,
yeah,
take them along
and
the
I'll just
journey.
say, like, you know, before you go to the gym, if you can have some form of a carbohydrate, I'll give them a list of things I'd advise. Then you look at, you know, what can they digest? You know, like, someone's going to struggle to digest. You know, for me, rice, no good. So
You know, digest rice
awful.
goes down beautifully.
Bagels though, I could eat 4 or 5, train in an hour, I'll be fine.
Don't get me started on bagels, mate.
Yeah.
They're my go-to.
Yeah, they're great, but they're
Bagels.
great when you're on a get. They're great when you get, you know, trying to gain. Obviously, it's super low. It's a volume that's super high in calories, low volume. Same as granola, phenomenal.
I love granola, yeah.
But when you go into a dieting phase, and again, this is a tip I'd always give. If you're someone who's dieting, pick foods that are high in volume, low in calories. So things like, you know, it's cliche, but like salads. I make a great salad, like lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, onion, all of that in there fills me up like great. Bagels, phenomenal when you're trying to gain because they're super high calories. But you're in a dieting phase, you have one bagel, and you have one bagel, there's most of your carbs gone for the day. It's like, oh, brilliant. So it's just being, you know, smart, get bagel thin.
So with obviously pre-post workout, now if you've got a client that trains in the morning, early morning,
That's me.
how do you work your pre-workout meal?
So I would train 6 a.m. in the morning fasted.
Weight training.
Weight training, yep.
So you're not having a pre-workout meal?
No, so
not a
typically I like it more because it sets me up for the day. It just makes me so much more productive because by the time I get home, it's 8 o'clock. I've been on a walk, done my steps, I've trained, and I've had meal one by 8 o'clock. And call me weird, but mentally I feel fantastic like that. And then everything else just seems a breeze. Now, some clients have said, oh yeah, I'll try that. Not lasted, which is fair enough, you know, if you've got kids at home or whatever else. And I can see your face, Lee. You know, training fasted probably isn't going to be great for you. But
I've tried it once and it.
yeah,
I had a good phase of it. 5 a.m. training sessions, used to love it, but
tell you what, the pre-workout hits like a truck, mate. I remember I went to the gym after a scoop, and mate, it's like, you're off. So I'm like, yeah, mate, let's go. It's like, sure. It's like I just come in after a
Wired
night
in the
out.
morning.
Yeah. Like I just come out of a rave. But for me, if you are to train first thing in the morning, my main tips would be hydrated. So I have an electrolyte supplement from Supplement Needs. Phenomenal. Rehydrate, water. The night before, I'll make sure that my meal is very carb focused. So my meal the night before, last meal, is normally oats and whey. Super simple. 7, 8 o'clock. So then at least when I'm then training in the morning, I've still got those carbs. Yeah, I've still got something in my system.
See, yeah, because I have oats literally every morning, mate. And it's like what you've just said. You're basically having that meal before you go to bed, ready for the session in the morning. So
pretty much, yeah.
It's a slow release.
I just find
so.
exactly something like that. I know it's still going to be in my system. Although I've slept, it's not. I've not eaten. It's just vanished.
Yeah.
You know, it's still going to be used as fuel. It's still going to be, you know, effective.
see, when I trained in the morning, I would eat.
I do.
If I was training at 5 or it'd probably be 5:30 by the time I'm there. No, it was 5. Yeah, I'd get up, I'd eat. I'd have some form of carbs because otherwise
your training
I wouldn't get as good as a session. I knew how important that was, and I'd force myself. Like it actually started in school. I used to run to school and go for a swim, 5-mile run, go for a swim. So I'd make myself like pre-make some like bagel and jam or something in the fridge, force myself up or have it by my bed when the alarm went off, just like scratch it as soon as I woke up. And it definitely, I've had clients to train in the morning. I got them into the habit of just 20 minutes earlier. It might be worth a trial for yourself.
Yeah.
I do that.
Just something, even just like a squares bar, just
I
as a bit of fuel.
I normally just tell them to have like either a square bar or a banana and a whey protein, just something quick and easy.
Simple to eat because it's hard that early, isn't it? But
It is,
even
but
just like
something light.
extra release.
Yeah.
See, I then fast till about 11 o'clock after I've trained.
That first meal must be like.
Well, saying that,
you don't eat.
So normally after my workout, I'll just have protein, as in a whey protein or a lean source of
11 o'clock?
protein. After my session, when I get back at like 8 o'clock.
I was gonna say.
At about 8 o'clock, and then I'll have my first meal at about 11 half, quote unquote, a proper sort of meal of such. But I think training in the morning for me, I wouldn't change it. I mean, now I've got a bit more flexibility with work, etc. I still train at 6 a.m.
I love the morning session, but I'll do my abs or cardio now, just because I find so much more benefit of a weights later in the day. But I love it. Definitely morning session. It
sets me up.
Proper wakes you up.
It's just honestly, it sets me up for the day. I feel just ready for everything. I feel a step ahead, which just allows. But then by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like,
nap time.
I'm off time. I need a 20-minute sort of nap or whatnot. But
I don't do that early, mate. I can't do it. I know you two get up early, but
you got a little one.
7 o'clock. Yeah, but still, she sleeps well, mate.
Okay, fair play. You got it well.
Taught her well.
She must take after me because by 6 weeks old, mate, she was doing like she'd go to bed at 8, and then she'll be up at 8.
So what time do you start? 7, 8?
Yeah, about 7 o'clock I get up and then go and do my
Nice
cardio.
lying, that, isn't it?
Online coach's
7
dream.
o'clock, mate. I've finished.
I know, mate. But
What are your?
that's what I mean. If I get up super early like that, I just feel knackered. But I could never, because even before I PT'd, I used to do a job where I used to get up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I could never get into that routine of like I just don't know. I always used to go to bed later than.
So
You should have.
Can't get to sleep.
Yeah, so
can't
it's just
switch
never
off at the end
worked.
of the day.
Yeah, so I'd have like 4 hours sleep because I'd go to bed at like 11, 12 o'clock, and then I'll be up at 4, and then I'll just have a nap in the day.
Getting that vicious
That
cycle. Yeah, been
But
there.
I'm just not a super early morning. Like I'm 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock's not.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not, it's not
Early.
like it's
yeah,
late.
but
Half
like
10.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, mate. No, I couldn't.
So how many hours sleep you getting now?
Yeah, about 8.
Okay.
8 every night. Yeah.
Yourself?
I try and force myself to bed at 9. I set an alarm actually on my phone. Like usually
go to bed.
go to bed at 9.
I do not struggle to sleep, mate.
I can switch off very easy once I'm
Yeah,
in bed. There's no like I hate people that have a TV in the room.
Never had one.
It like winds me up so much. If you're going into your bedroom, it's just switch off, like, lights off. I'm always.
But I think that's another thing though. Like people who struggle to sleep, like from like clients' perspective, you'll get a client that I really struggle to sleep, and then you get them training, you get them doing cardio, and they're fucking knackered by like 9 o'clock. They sleep well.
To
Definitely.
improve people's sleeps, what tips would you give? What if for someone like for me, I would say I like the fact you just use a bedroom just to sleep. I think a lot of people that have an Xbox or work in their bedroom, have a television in their bedroom, spend 2 hours lying in bed watching the telly and then try and go to sleep. You're gonna struggle. So for me, I try and spend 20 minutes away from like a device,
Your phone,
read a
yeah.
book, put a podcast on, literally something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be a tip I'd try and give people, as well as trying to get at the same time.
I'll have a
as
go at
night.
clients sometimes. If I've got a message at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, I've had them like when they've been on nights out and stuff, that I didn't mind too much because they
All
were
been
out.
there.
But like I can't sleep at like 12, 1 o'clock. Well, you're clearly on your phone.
Yeah.
You know that device is keeping you up. You know what I mean? That's
TikTok,
one of the,
mate. You can just and Twitter, but they've just put that restriction on Twitter. You can only do a certain amount of scrolls a day.
Oh really?
Yeah, because Twitter was my one. 'Cause I'll just go like that. Football news, transfers, like that. Before you know it, like and TikTok's the same. Like an hour's gone.
Yeah, no devices in the room. Read sometimes that I used to love doing reading, but now I tend to read in the morning. Like, but if you need like something to ease you off to get you off your phone, get a book.
Yeah, or an
Because
audible.
eventually that will make you.
Yeah, just try and spend time away from a screen.
But that's the biggest one. Away from screens. Don't really engage on your phone at all after 9 o'clock. I wouldn't. Like that's what my main cut off point. 9, 8 o'clock. What's the point? You're on your phone all bloody day. Like messaging people.
What about television, or if it, like let's say they're a husband with kids and
So
a wife,
the-
and it's only time together.
Kids have gone to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock. I'd say have your hour.
Yeah.
Get a program, get a series, and just watch. Even though it's dead easy to say, and people are like, oh well, I'll watch the next one. Watch one episode. Have that as that's your time together. So a lot of the things that I do, like people that obviously have the kids, spend that time together as quality time, but that's your time. And then once that hour's up,
You can have more time with your wife. You don't need a television.
that is very true.
Not that no, I ain't got a wife or anything. So
a few minutes.
yeah. Ain't gonna do another hour, is it? There you go. But yourself, anything sleep wise, anything
Pretty much
else?
the same
Yeah.
as what you said. To be fair, it's pretty straightforward in my opinion. So
I think caffeine's another one. I think that's
Yeah.
a whole I think
Talk all
for
day
me,
about caffeine.
it's a great tool. Like, I used to be the amount of people that wake up and just neck a coffee because they think they have to wake themselves up. When I'm sure I've read studies and whatnot about all of this. Wait an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Try
you
to
might
if
not
you
wait
can.
Makes a
so
big
that-
difference.
Yeah, because your body doesn't actually need it to do with adenosine.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's blocking or something along those lines. And I think for me, if someone is, if you get enough sleep, you're training, you're keeping yourself nutritionally on top of it. You probably don't need.
If you
don't
just
need it.
waited till you got to work for most people as a start
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Because if we're up
Don't
at
wake
7,
up, go downstairs and make a coffee. Just wait till you get to work. Hopefully you don't crash in on the way on the way in, like. But just wait that bit, and it'll get you into a better routine. Like just small building blocks with a lot of things. Same with the bedtime, like introducing a book to switch off from a device. introducing in the morning, okay, I'll wait till I get to work to have my first coffee, that slowly changes things instead of a lot of people go so dramatic, I find. And if you just put little steps in place and building blocks, sometimes you got to treat yourself like you're a kid.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I've got to go at bedtime. But that's more respect for yourself, and you're going to be in a better place the next day. You're going to be a better person.
Step close to
You
the
know what
goal.
I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think we like people. Oh, I like my coffee. If you like your coffee in the morning, first thing, and you don't want to change it for a decaf.
Yeah.
Like if you
Simple.
I did a month of no caffeine, and I did exactly what you said you shouldn't do, but that's because I'm slightly different. I just went month off it. Simple as that. Like I just thought, I don't want to rely on something, and you know what? I felt fine. I slept better. My digestion was good because I'd be eating a meal and then having caffeine not too long after. Of course, digestively weren't great, so it's fine. But I think, like you say, just little small tweaks. Just don't have that one in the morning. Just wait till you get to work.
I literally just have one pre-workout. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
don't
use a
touch much.
pre-workout.
What pre-workout we got?
No, I don't even use pre.
Oh, do you know?
I have coffee, like a black coffee, as my
You on pre-workouts at the moment, Tom?
No, stim free. Caffeine will hit me hard. I remember at my gym once I was like, well, when you're knackered and you're like, just make me a strong pre-workout. It's like, you sure? Yeah, go on, hit me.
Some of them are too.
And they just heap scoop, put it in. Remember, I went home, got in the shower, sat down. It's like that, heart pounding through my chest. I thought I was going to die. I just sat like, what is going on?
Did you end up in a rash?
Yeah, rash all over my
that's
chest.
happened
and
to me. I
everything.
took it at work. I used to work at David Lloyd, and there was this pre-workout I got from a gym. I won't name the gym because it was their own brand, but you fuckers you almost killed me. I got the afternoon off work, but I thought, right, I'm going to train before work, working on gym floor, had this pre-workout, went and sat in the back office, found myself going really red and really hot. I thought, well, here we go, it's kicking in. PB's on the board, get the 3 plates on the bench press, I'm going for it. Anyway, I've gone into the gym, and the lad's gone, get out, Jack, you been on the old sunbeds? I'm like, no. He said, you're red as anything, mate. I was like, really? I've looked in the mirror, and what's that character off SpongeBob? Squidward. You know how red and pink he is? Yeah. I've looked at myself, and I'm going all rashy and all prickly. And of course, I'm getting more anxious now. People are looking at me thinking, what the fucking hell's he doing? Anyway, I've gone into I've literally walked out the gym, all the receptionists are going, Jack, you alright? I've gone in the car park, and I've just sat there in the corner like, fucking hell, what's going on? Like shaking like mad. I've got the caretaker and the general manager following me going, Jack, you all right? Do we need to get you an ambulance? I was like, oh my God, don't get me an ambulance after pre-workout. They literally just told me to lie down, raise my feet. They just basically made me piss it out. They just made me drink loads and loads and loads of water. And I pissed it out. I didn't touch pre for 2 years.
To be fair,
scared the shit out of
I've
me.
never really felt much from them. And then I tried one, it was called Kraken or something like that.
Oh, there
With a
you
K.
go.
Yeah, with a K.
With a K.
With a K. Is that which one it was?
that wasn't the one
Oh,
I
no.
had. I've got MV Pre at the moment. That's a decent one. That's a decent one.
I had the Kraken one.
Kraken with a K.
Yeah, and it was like, they never normally touch me, and I was like knackered. I think I was prepping at the time. I was knackered. I was like, it says 2 scoops, but fuck it, I'll do 3 so it actually does something. Mate, never again. My heart was like, like you said, you could feel it. I remember I got home, I rang my mum. I was like, Mum, I think I'm dying. It was that fucking strong. I was like, oh,
I was just putting my hairdresser, my barber said, Jack, I thought I was going to die yesterday. He said, I took this pre-workout and I just felt, I was like, what was it? He went, it's called Clenbuterol.
Oh dear.
I went, that ain't a pre-workout. That ain't a pre-workout. Bearing in mind, no disrespect, he's a great barber, but he's not really into the gym.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, probably check what you have. Maybe just stick to like a My Protein one for now, or just a coffee. That will probably do.
It's a big issue with supplements though, isn't it? Because that again, like pre-workout, it's so hyped up. On TikTok, you see people scooping it, don't you? And it's
The thing is,
it's scary what can happen to you if you like overdo it.
The thing is with supplements, though, a lot of people think, like, when they sign up or whatever, they'll be like, right, what supplements do I need?
I get that all the time.
You're not going to get... The main thing is your diet and how you train and your sleep. The supplements...
The magic pill.
Yeah. The supplements are going to do, like, 5%, if that, like, extra.
What supplements do you normally... For me, for most clients, I'll say supplements I would advise would be a whey protein, just purely down to the fact it's easy to digest, it's easy to get... Most people are eating so little protein. If I can just get them an extra 30 gram of protein in from a shake or whatever, perfect. I don't even really give them a pre-workout. So if they ask me what pre-workout do I recommend, I tell them this is what I recommend roughly, etc. But I don't put it on people. And then the only other thing might be something like a general multivit or something, because
Creatine?
Yeah, creatine. I normally do creatine.
Creatine, yeah, for people, most people, but if it's a general pop female or whoever male who's never trained before, I wouldn't even,
There's no point.
I'd rather, like you say, get your training in check. Let's have a look at your nutrition. You know, I'll tend to get a lot of clients to do me like a food log for the first week. So like the first week, I'll just say, I just want to see what you're roughly eating now, and then I can make adjustments to it going forward. Because let's say they're eating a lot of chicken, for example, and they enjoy it. I'm not then going to take it out of their diet and just give them a load of, you know, something else. So I think if you get the nutrition in check, training, supplements, mate, like I say,
yeah. Yeah, obviously your nutrition in your diet is your nutrition in your training is obviously the most important. But I still like general health supplements like omegas, things like that, multivit, creatine, BCAAs. I normally recommend. What else? Ashwagandha. Do you use that?
Never use it personally.
No, I use it after I've done a workout. I normally when I did my bloods not long ago, my cortisol was high, and it's from the stress of you're putting on your body through training.
Yeah.
So I had a look at ashwagandha, and now I take, I think it's like 1,000 meg. You can get it from fucking anywhere. There's loads of different ones. But I find that it just helps your body actually relax after you train, because you're putting so much stress on your muscles and stuff.
Yeah.
But my cortisol was like through the roof, and I'm not a stressed person. Like I don't get.
But it's just through the training.
Through the training, I was like, I messaged my coach. I was like, my cortisol was through the roof, mate. Like, what's going on? He was like, when did you get your bloods done? I was like, on like a Tuesday. It was like a day after legs.
Oh well,
yeah. And it was like, it's probably through your training being, obviously it's a fucking intense. So it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be that. But I just take ashwagandha now just to bring it down. So yeah, if that client's saying the feeling battered, obviously your recovery needs to be on point first. But
get you sleeping.
I sleep well, and I'm not a stressed guy. So yeah, it must have been from my training.
You're pushing yourself hard though, aren't you? So there's always going to be some kickback from that with your body. And at least you got your bloods done. Like some people won't even respect the body enough to get the bloods done at that point. So at least you know and you can deal with it.
Yeah, I've never had my bloods.
Have you not?
Something it's something I'd like to do, especially just coming off the back of this photo shoot, just to see where I'm at now, and then do it again in like 3, 4, 5 months time, and just see. I should have probably done it before, but
I can't stand getting my bloods done. That's why I'm not bothered. Pass out of fit.
I'm not too.
Everything.
Is it the needles or I've never?
It's just I don't know what it is, but not a fan. I avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah, no, I've not really had many needles or jabs, but I'm not too bad. But I'd like to get them done just to see, just out of pure interest, see where I'm at, see if there's anything I need to change from a nutritional standpoint or anything to help, obviously, whatever I'm lacking or whatever else. But
that's another one. The electrolytes as well.
Yeah,
I use.
They've been huge for me.
Yeah, because I used to cramp fucking loads, and I'm not mean like just a little cramp. Like if I pulled my arm across, my chest would like cramp, and it's from just not because I sweat a lot. Like I don't know if you could probably.
How much water?
I'm sweating now.
How much water do you have a day, roughly?
Now I do like 5-6 liters easily, but I sweat a lot.
Just constantly.
Yeah, like I'm a sweaty guy, especially in the heat, mate.
Big wet patch
yeah. But no, so yeah, like I need
almost in Marbella when we were in the sun next to me. I could just remember. He was like,
and Nicole's
right, mate. He's like, no, I'm just too hot.
And my missus is like the one who's always cold. She's sat in the shade under this little brolly, and I'm sat there like beaming sundown on me, like dripping with sweat.
It's not nice.
Yeah, but yeah, like electrolytes, another one that I would recommend as well, especially like people who. Like a lot of people don't drink enough, do they? Like
no, not at all.
Like that many people in the.
There's all of us here now.
Like,
yeah, water.
I was speaking to some guy in the gym, and he was like, constantly getting cramp, and I was just like, how much water you having a day?
Yeah.
It's like, I have a glass or 2 a day. What are you talking about? Like,
that's what I mean.
There's your issue.
Yeah, I used to drink like 3 or 4 liters, and I was cramping loads, and then up my water. Started taking electrolytes. Like I have 1 in the morning, and then I normally have 1 after I train because I sweat a lot during when I train, and I drink 2 liters when I train, and it's like it was still not enough. So
that's like me. I'll have 1 first thing in the morning, before I go on my walk, and then after my training session, because after my gym sessions, I'd use a sauna and the steam room.
Fucking he does everything.
I
before
know,
8 o'clock, doesn't he?
Well, it's
Special morning ritual.
I get a special massage as well, but no, I go sauna just A, because the gym's got it, and B, it's just a nice thing to do. I feel quite fresh after. So of course, sweating in the gym, sweating in the sauna, another electrolyte, load of water as well. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, I've probably done 2 and a bit litres of water.
Yeah, I'm the same. I feel a good release like in the morning. After my second litre of water, I feel like I'm on a high because I won't touch like coffee or anything. But by the time I've got through the second litre, usually about 8-9 o'clock, I'm awake. That seems to wake me up more than anything. Like gives me like a proper buzz. I can tell like right, I must be fully hydrated now. I must be like bang on point. Whereas when I don't have it, like if I'm busy in the morning and I'm not had enough water, come 10-11 o'clock I'm flagging. I can tell now that I drink enough when I'm not. Like the body just responds and you feel tired, lethargic, you can tell.
It's
massively.
getting enough salt in as well. Like I didn't used to get enough
100%.
salt in, and now like that's what I mean. I should drink loads, but I just piss it out. And I wasn't actually hydrating myself until I was like.
How much salt do you have? Do you have it with most meals?
I put it in pretty much every meal. Like
Pink Himalayan
pink
salt.
Himalayan.
Oh yeah.
you know the big tubs like
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
I'll go through one of them in like.
I've got it in
2 or
like
3
this
weeks.
packet, and I just get like a fingerful,
Yeah,
and literally
yeah.
I'm there. Literally every time it's like a bit on there, bit on here. But no, I think salt, water, and then if you can get some form of electrolyte supplement, you're going to be hydrated and you're going to feel a lot better than
so much difference.
Right, okay, so we've got some questions what people have asked. So, first one, what keeps you motivated year round?
Do you want to go first, Jack?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think for me, mainly, like I've said before, it's just part of my lifestyle now. It's like a normal thing. But I think a massive one is me personally, and with a lot of clients, is always just having a goal to work towards. Now, it doesn't have to be a photo shoot, it doesn't have to be a marathon. It could be smaller goals, but I think having something to work towards will always naturally keep you motivated. Whether that's a specific lift, you want to be able to bench a certain weight, or whatever it may be. I think having something to work towards can just those days when you really don't want to go to the gym, but if I go to the gym, I'm going to be one step closer to whatever the goal may be. I think that's huge. So for me, that's a photo shoot, half marathon, an event, anything like that. But for clients, it could be anything.
To be fair, when a client signs up with me, I'll break. Obviously, they've got that long-term goal, but I'll break it down and into like a timeline.
Yeah.
And I'll also set them like performance-based goals, like in the gym, like a certain lift by this time. And once you get to know how strong a client is or their kind of start point, you can then adjust those goals. So once they have hit that goal, you can then give them another goal and another one. So it's all about just breaking everything down. Even the small little goals that don't seem like nothing, they all add up to
just doing something
the big
like
goal.
I've had people that have gone from doing 2,000-3,000 steps a day, and like within 4 weeks they're now doing 6,000 steps every day. They don't see that as a goal, but I'm like straight away.
It makes a huge difference.
I'm like straight away. You're now doing 4,000 extra steps a week on average. That's a good achievement. Like they might not see it as that because they're not at the desired weight or the desired dress size or whatever it may be. But I think, like you say, having small goals that lead you to that bigger goal just keeps that person motivated, and then therefore get to where they want to get to. So I'd say that.
I think even like just touching upon the steps as well, like people don't, if you've got a step count goal, like 10k steps for example, and then you just increase that to like 11k, that's an extra like 7k across the week. People don't realize it. It's like they've hit 10k every day, bob on, and then you just make that small tiny change, like an extra 1,000 steps. It's like a 10-minute walk, if that.
Yeah.
It's gonna
slow steps then.
yeah, literally.
But over a week, that's
over
70
a week,
minutes.
literally, it all adds up. So they'll think, an extra 1,000 steps, fuck all, that's not going to do anything, but it actually does if you've stuck to doing it. Like, because some people they'll do way more than you set them.
Yeah, they go above and beyond.
Yeah, but then sometimes you're like, right, just actually stick to what set. If you're going to do more, then we'll
Change the goal.
change the goal. But if you, like if you're doing way more. Sometimes because when you do need to make changes,
It has a counter effect, doesn't it?
Because
Exactly
you want to get
that.
the most out of
the
least
bare minimum.
minimum effective dose. It's like what we said with cardio. You know,
Yeah,
it's a great
if you
tool.
go too hard too soon, it's like, well,
We're only going to have to do
that's
more.
it.
Or if you
You're
drop
screwing yourself
food,
up.
you know, you start off dropping food at like, you know, you start them off at like 12, 13, 14, 1500 calories on week 1 of a 12-week phase. It's only going to get lower, isn't it? And that's just not going to be great.
No. For me, motivation, to be fair, definitely goal-wise, like having a big goal, but literally every session now, like I've drilled it in, I just go in, I want to be better in everything, like every single exercise. I get myself dead worked up before a session. I'll go on the treadmill. I'll look through my logbook every session now at the moment, especially, and just be like, yeah, no matter what, that number's getting beat. Like, I don't know. I've just got, like, in that frame.
I see you on your stories and you're like, phone's gone fucking...
I go, like,
airplane
I
mode or
do not
whatever.
speak to anyone in the gym.
No.
It's just like, bang,
How do
pure
you find the
focus.
logbook?
I have it on my phone, I don't use
No,
notes.
as in the method of logbooking. How do you find it?
I don't
yourself?
use, well, I just literally, I'll have my notes of my session. Like,
No, but
I
as
think
in-
he means progressive overload.
Yeah.
as a whole.
So you know,
progressive
so like
overload, yeah.
for me, I used to logbook my exercises, and I still do now. But I used to be that meticulous, and it got to a point for me where if I didn't hit the number on exercise 1 that I got last week,
Piss you
for
off.
me, that's my session done.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like, in my head, I am
The thing
probably
is-
why this is why one training style doesn't fit everyone.
Yeah.
You know, because for me, if I did a hack squat, I have 4 plates each side. I got 8 last week. If I didn't get 9,
But would you not
don't-
also compare your weight that you're at and
No.
everything?
To be
That's
fair,
how
yeah,
I do.
yeah.
Because when I used to cut, like when obviously from going super high calories and then I'm coming down, you're naturally going to get a little bit weaker,
Of
and that's what
course.
you got to remember. But I know what you mean because it pisses me off so much, you know, if
And
you can't match it or at least.
sometimes I used to find my enjoyment of sessions diminished because I was put that much pressure on myself.
Yeah, I must
And
hit
also
this number.
sometimes my form would like if it was go for a rep on a hack squat, I need to get one more.
Yeah.
Even if I did half a rep, I know I'll count that as 9.
But what,
I need
but
to
what
do it.
So if you don't do that now, because if I go into the gym now and I haven't got a plan at all, or not a plan, but to try and beat something,
I do.
I'm like walking around.
I still do have that because progressive overload is going to be the
Yeah.
king when it comes to muscle hypertrophy. I think that's fairly proven. If you get strong across different rep ranges, chances of building muscle and accruing tissue is going to be quite high. I think I'm in a complete different mindset. This was when I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
I wanted to be bodybuilder. I was 100 kilos. Like my sessions were everything. I had the logbook. I had the Monster Strength Factory baggy t-shirt, baggy hood,
You're talking
headphones
to me, mate.
over. Like literally. But you know, imagine
That
doing.
is the life.
That's me, mate.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was in a David Lloyd. Like, could you imagine what I look like walking around in a David Lloyd like
I
that?
can't do them.
Trained
I
by
can't go in
JP.
them
That's
rooms.
how I wanted to be. You know, Jordan Peters and all of that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for now, I don't put myself with much pressure. But let's say I did incline dumbbell press with 40s last week for 10, and I got 10 again this week.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I'm happy with that. And if I got less than 10, I'll just go, right, how did I sleep yesterday? I only got 5 hours. It's probably why. I'll just try and get more sleep.
Yeah, and your food
Yeah,
intake
yeah.
and your water. That's what I do take into account on my sessions. Like, I've lost 14 pounds in the first 3 weeks of my cut, which is obviously a big drop. So numbers have still gone up, which I'm buzzing about. But I know, like, at a point, numbers will start to drop, but my weight's so much lower that last time around I was at this
Yeah.
weight.
It's an
That's-
improvement.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I think you touched upon the gym that you use. I will not, as much as I can, I will avoid Pure, JD, everything. I will be in like a bodybuilder style gym. I'll find one. Metal weights, load of like
be fair-
absolutely massive blokes in there because I'm like, I can't lift bad. I need to put everything in because they're looking at everyone around me.
When I used to work at Pure Gym, I didn't used to train in Pure Gym. I used to go to a different gym because I just didn't like it. It's just
That's the
atmosphere.
environment for your training
Yeah.
style. Like if you're training more athletic, you know, that gym
That's
suits,
it. Yeah.
doesn't it?
Well, that's it. I train 6 a.m. I do functional stuff. I'll go upstairs, do some form of a circuit and that, and sauna, steam. I use the bike, use the pool, swim, that sort of stuff. So it does. However, I am with you because I've recently been going to different gyms, more bodybuilding gyms, and the environment there is phenomenal. And although people might look scarier at these
was about
bodybuilding
to say,
gyms,
yeah.
They're so
they're I tell you
friendly,
what,
yeah.
they're sound because people at David Lloyd are knobs. A lot of them are knobs. I'm not joking.
Calling out everyone. At
I'm not
David,
calling
yeah.
out everyone.
Anyone that goes David Lloyd, you're not.
No, that's not the case. It's not the case. But environment around David Lloyd or a pure gym,
Yeah.
you might see people sat there on their phone or just
Yeah.
chatting on the phone or whatever. You go to a bit more of a gym where people take training more serious and they're switched on. It only forces your environment's everything. You're only then thinking, okay, now I need to switch on now.
Yeah,
Which
I need to train.
A lot of
100%.
people are scared of going into like bodybuilding gyms or old school gyms.
the
like
most
that,
people
but
in there
the
are
most
sound.
sound
They're the
people.
sound, and they're there
More
to help
advice,
you.
more help.
100%. Whereas you David Lloyd, sorry David Lloyd, fuck David Lloyd. I mean, I work there and whatnot, but a lot of the people there, I just feel are there to say they've been in the gym.
Yeah.
They're just there to say I'm in the gym or
Something
whatnot.
to
Whereas the people that inspire people like ourselves, they're in the gyms where that gym training session to them is their day.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Whereas David Lloyd, you've got them, all sorts of people. Enough on David Lloyd. fucking knobs.
You got another question, Lee?
Didn't you have one?
Yeah, I did. It was. Let's find it here. It was when he's setting up an OnlyFans, but answers and I'm not.
Well, we touched upon some of my previous weekend work.
There
Fell into that
there
one.
we go. We wanna plug-
Maybe one day.
So, okay, I got another one. Cutting and macronutrient intake. So what I think he means by here is what things you take into consideration when someone's in a dieting phase compared to when someone's in a gaining phase. I think it's fairly explanatory, but
Protein for me doesn't change massively
No,
in both
100%,
phases.
100%.
It's
I
pretty
know
much the
some
same,
people
isn't
get
it?
obsessed, like they're bulking like, oh, I need more protein. It's like, no, you don't need any more protein. I tend to do it carb based.
Yeah.
I know some people do take a fatty approach, like they'll up fats, and there are a few people that prefer that and actually do benefit more.
I'd say I'm in that camp. I enjoy higher fat. I'm 85, 90 gram of fat.
Mine's 40.
Yeah. See, I enjoy higher fat
Mine's
diet.
higher
It's
fat.
just
It's
me
either way,
personally.
they're both energy sources, aren't they? And your body's going to tap into either one. But I know a lot of people do love the carbs, so I'll always, depending on what the client enjoys, the carbs will keep going up, keep creeping up, because it's easy to eat. You're throwing a bagel, you're throwing an extra wrap each week.
Yeah.
Nice, easy, extra foods. Or when it gets really interesting, you get the muffins in there towards the end. It gets nice, doesn't it?
Oh mate, I remember when my
Pre-workout
peak-
muff.
Yeah, my peak like off season. This was a couple of years ago. My post workout meal was 150 gram of Cocoa Pops, 60 gram of whey, 2 Pop Tarts, and I think it was a muffin. I had chocolate.
Dead healthy,
double-
yeah.
like mate, I was like nearly throwing up.
Pre-workout muffin was mine.
Yeah.
It was pre-workout muffin.
What muffin?
I used to get just a blueberry one. I used to buy from
Blueberries.
Tesco. And but post-workout, I was like, 150 grams of Cocoa Pops, whey protein, and 2 Squares bars.
Yeah.
Can't beat Cocoa Pops. To
which-
be fair.
which-
It's so easy to eat.
People would see me eat it then and go,
What you doing?
"What's he
That's what I
doing?"
mean. When
I
you
try
put
to
it-
explain the insulin and all that.
Yeah,
I didn't have a clue. I was
when you put it in people's plans and they're like, why the fuck am I eating Cocoa Pops after I train? And they don't realise, but you just have to explain it. But
yeah,
It
it's
helps
just
a lot
easy.
with cravings too. Like when you put that in someone's plan, they're like, "Oh, sick! I don't even feel like I need to go off plan because they've got something enjoyable within it." Because you could do it from natural sources, and you could definitely take away the Cocoa Pops, and do it with like rice or something like that.
Yeah, no, I
But
think it just
it
depends.
does. It keeps it for me. It keeps it enjoyable when you have stuff like that.
100%.
Squares,
it
bars,
digests
a bit
better.
of.
I find it
something in
digests
there.
better. It's a lot lighter than
I can scran it like half a box of Cocoa Pops, no problem. It's gone.
Yeah.
literally.
So when it
But-
comes to macros and whatnot, protein stays the same.
Protein stays
Whether
the
you're
same
dieting or whether you're in a
constant.
gaining phase, protein should be the
There
same.
or thereabouts.
And then obviously dieting phase. I know we briefly spoke about it, but for me, carbohydrates prioritise pre and post workout. Even
Yeah,
if that just
100%,
means
yeah.
all your 50% of your carbs are pre, 50 post. Obviously, if you're in the last few weeks of a diet, there's probably not a lot of carbs anyway. But just prioritising those, and then in the gaining phase again, carbs pre and post. But then you probably have some more carbs during.
So
the
do
day.
you just have carbs around your training window, or do you have it in other meals as well?
So coming at the end of the photo shoot, it was just pre and post, just because my carbs were at 150.
I have them pretty much every meal. They're thereabouts. I'd
How many
say.
carbs
Even
you
when
having?
it's down to 1,600 calories though.
I'd still have them. I just have like a bagel and jam pre, oh no, chicken and rice pre, and then I used to have a bagel and jam post at that time. I used to have oats still in the morning, and I think I used to have some like yogurt and berries, something like that. So they're still spread across the day, but just not. And then I'd have like a no carb meal.
Salad.
No, I don't even like salad. I don't.
not?
No, I don't like salad.
I think salad's
I don't
great.
like veg.
Salad, I'll tell you what,
Don't
that's...
really eat it.
Sorry about Marbella, but that salad ride in Marbella... Oh, you left, hadn't you?
I went to get some more burgers.
Yeah. The salad over there was fantastic. It was brilliant, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm not big on... No, I've never liked it, to be fair.
I'm
But
not-
yeah, I normally spread my carbs just generally throughout the day. And then I have a more of an influx around... Still have a more around the training window.
But I have mine pretty spread.
Yeah.
I do enjoy like a bit carbs for breakfast,
But
especially.
even with my clients, I'll still spread them across the day, like breakfast, lunch, evening meal, and then post workout. They'll still be spread across the day until we get like very deep down into it.
Yeah. I think a thing for me is just almost like protecting training performance. Like,
Yeah, you want to perform, get the most out of your sessions,
so if that
and
means
recovery.
yeah, so like if that means taking away some carbohydrates from their last meal and putting it in the pre-workout meal, and they're happy with that, then I think that's okay. Look, the last few weeks of dieting, you're going to be hungry. It's just a case that that's
Yeah,
it.
you've got sometimes like a diet's a diet. You're gonna definitely 100% be hungry. I think one final question that we had. What are your goals now moving forward? You've done your photo shoot. What
Yeah.
are your goals for the rest of the year?
Mine, so obviously I'm prepping for my show. So I've done 2 shows before. I've done 2 men's physique, and now
I'd love to see that.
me men's physique,
Yeah.
mate.
I would like to see that because I just think it'd be interesting to see because I always
What, still doing it now? Or?
no, as in you.
Oh,
you
doing it.
You wouldn't be able to do it now, surely. No,
That's what I mean. I still don't feel that. That's the thing, though. Like I'm going into my first bodybuilding show. I'm doing novice bodybuilding, so it's like beginners into bodybuilding, basically. But I still don't feel big enough.
Really.
And
It's always a
it's
thing,
always.
But that's
yeah.
always going to be the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you're never gonna. Well,
Never satisfied.
yeah,
No,
it's like
literally.
with me with the photo shoot. I was like, fuck, could I have been
You
leaner?
know, yeah.
I could have been leaner, but
Yeah.
looking back, I probably couldn't have. It just
But every time you get better, definitely like
That's it.
Yeah.
you learn from a few little things, you improve.
So
so October's yeah.
October the 1st is the show PCA
Where's that?
in St Hull, I think PCA Yorkshire. So yeah, got that coming up, and then I've got a client photo shoot 2 weeks after. I've got a photo shoot myself 2 days after my show. So
Nice. No big cheat meal after the show then.
nah, well, I'll see. And then yeah, just work, clients. Look, being a dad. So yeah, that's pretty much my plans for the rest of the year.
How I know it's still early, but you're dieting. But how have you found it? How was your child? Was this the first prep you've done with a child? Any
Yeah.
major differences or
I think, to be honest, it's better.
okay?
And I think like last time I prepped, I was fucking not in a. I don't know. I was just mardy constant. Because I was hungry. I like my
Not
food.
a nice guy.
No, and I think this time around, I think it will be better for me because my daughter's only like a year and 4 months old now, and I think because she's there, I can't be a dick. Basically,
Fair enough. Yeah.
We'll find out.
yeah.
Still early days.
You're not gonna be
Kicked out the house.
Yeah, no. But I think it's gonna help me if anything, and she's like routine as well. Like you're in your routine with her, so
that helps you 100%.
yeah. And I think I'm just in a better place this prep than I was my last one. Like I was still at Pure Gym the last one, doing mad shifts. This time I'm online, so I work when I want.
Recovery be
Yeah,
better.
my recovery's
Less
better.
stress. Yeah.
So everything's better. So I think it would be a lot easier,
Nice.
even with the little one. So yeah.
What about you, Jack?
So I've just obviously finished my first photo shoot. So I did that for 16 weeks. Literally had it. What day was it? Sunday. I had my shoot Thursday. Really good. I enjoyed the 16 weeks dieting. I think we've spoken about having a goal to work towards. The goal was from a physical standpoint, obviously being lean for a shoot, but the mental clarity from a work perspective, understanding what I want to be doing going forward, has it's just made everything in sync. Like the whole dieting process, it's not felt like a diet. It's just felt like everything has just been a lot more clear in terms of what I want to do. So, not sell fruit machines, because that's what I have been doing. And you know, if I can help people feel how I now feel after doing some form of like a diet or whatever, then I'd love to help even more people. So doing the whole online stuff going forward, I'm excited about. In terms of physically, I'm doing a couple of half marathons I've got my eyes on. I want to go to a lot more performance-based things to do.
Would you then go to like triathlons and stuff then? If you're going to go down that route?
I've done 2 triathlons. I've done a half marathon before. Did that all in 2021. I just enjoy having something to work towards rather than just how I look.
Yeah, just training or I've got a six-pack.
Exactly, and you know, I want to be able to lift well, be strong, but also be able to go and run for 10 miles easily, go and climb a mountain, like that sort of stuff. So the end of July, I'm doing a 4x4 for 48. So it's 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Yeah, so I look forward to that. Yeah.
Jesus.
I enjoy running. It's been my main source of cardio for the last few months. I enjoy it. It mentally just switch off, put a bit of music in. So doing it for 4 hours, 4 miles.
See how much you enjoy it then.
See how much, exactly. I think it works out 2 marathons back to back over 2 days, but I'm doing it for a charity. So I'm doing it to raise awareness for a charity. I've never done anything for charity before, but the charity I'm doing it for is something that's close. So
what is the charity?
So it's going to be, I had a friend that died Christmas time, got stabbed. So it's basically anti-knife crime. So I can't remember the exact name. It's going to be partly to do with his foundation, and then sort of it's like a knife down, hands up sort of thing. So one of the things at the start of this year was to do something for that. So that fits in nicely with that, and then see what else there is to do. A couple of half marathons, but again similar.
On the online,
I think that now that growing the business is going to be huge, and just helping, as cliche as it is, helping as many people as possible, you know. So, yourself?
Well, first competition this year.
Yeah.
Lee said he's going to help me with a bit of posing because that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm nervous. We spoke about the photo shoot. We did a photo shoot last year. It's the whole tanning yourself up sort of thing. Like, I'm looking forward to getting shredded. I love doing a cut. I never find an issue with a cut. The bulk I find more difficult. But the first going on stage, standing in front of people, like that side of things, I am a bit uneasy more because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
I was the same, to be fair. Like when the first time I did it, I was shitting myself, and I was you're just about to go on stage, and my heart's like that.
Tan dripping down, sweating that much.
Literally, mate. Have you seen the photos or something?
No, I'm not. We'll have to have a look.
No, you'll be fine.
But yeah, I've got my first one in September as like a trial. So we're prepping like hard for that, and then the second one we're really going to town for. So I'm having like a practice run. One's in Rugby, like that's the first one because that's
down the road from me. That is. Have to have a look.
Pop up.
Yeah.
See me
15
like shaking
minutes
on
away.
stairs, like trying to get into position. And then the second one's in October, so that's my main aim. And then more than anything, with my social media this year, like my granddad passed away, and that was really hard. It's the first time I've ever lost anyone close to me. Like we're really, really close family, so that was a lot to deal with. So more getting back to the online coaching, back to helping people, giving the free advice because I used to do a lot of posting. Took a full month off. I've started to revamp it back up. That's why we sorted this out. Yeah. Got my videographer back in.
Nice.
And just again, like getting out there because I find it so beneficial. The amount of people I've helped over the past 2 years, and how beneficial, how much it changes people's lives, like the jobs, the family life, the relationships, and you just build such great relationships with people. It's one of the big factors I love behind it. There's so much you can do for people.
I didn't realize, like you said, you don't realize how much you actually change someone's life. Like
it's massive.
It's
massive,
crazy. And I'll just get random messages of just essays sent to me, like how much you've changed, like
it's mental,
how much my life's changed. It's
just
mad.
Through fitness and changing someone's routine, like the amount of job promotions, like people found better relationships. I've had people split up with relationships because they've realised, like, oh, well,
wasn't for them.
That's not for me. They've built themselves up as a better person and realised that was what was dragging them down. But to help people through them periods, you know, that people losing family members and everything else, I think for me that's the biggest part of the online coaching. Okay, I think anyone can give someone a fitness program and a diet program, but the actual support, if you've got a good coach that someone will provide you, will change your life. Literally, the amount of people that lives I've seen change through it is, I wouldn't even question that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so that is
So wrap for the first
the
one.
wrap for the first one. So yeah, it's gone well, to be fair.
Hopefully, hopefully you enjoy it.
yeah. So we're gonna make this kind of a regular thing, aren't
Definitely,
we?
yeah.
So we're gonna think of some other, because we touched up on quite a
Quite a lot of
broad-
things,
yeah,
haven't we? We can sort of
delve into different
Yeah.
more
areas.
detail, more specific. This is
So-
more general.
Yeah, this is like a general overview. Any questions, anything that you want to go? You got 3 people now to go through a lot of things instead of just our own individual.
Yeah,
You got 3 viewpoints and 3 different experiences. So it would be great if loads of questions come across to all of us, and like we have today, we'll fire through them, give you loads of insight, and hopefully you take a lot away from it.
Yeah. So catch you in the next one.